So this is another Java compiler called as JDoodle. Okay. So you can still carry on and do the programming parts in JDoodle, but for my next sessions, that is the next Saturday, I will only be using next Saturday also. I will take at the same timing, like 4:30, 4:30, and I will be using Eclipse. Okay, I will be Eclipse. I using an Eclipse IDE. For today, we will restrict ourselves. Before the next session, you have to install Eclipse, and for as of now, this compiler, online compiler, is good enough. So here we have another compiler called as JDoodle. Here also we have a class, public class, and just go through this code. And if you scroll down, there is an execute button. So you can click on the execute blue button. And you will see the output in the result in the black screen. Okay, so let me ask Narasimha first. Narasimha, what do you think the program is doing? Any idea?
Madam?
What is the program doing, which I'm showing on my screen?
It is adding two variables.
Yes, correct. And Harun, what do you think are the two variables?
The sum of x and y. Y.
Yes. So here I have a class. So my class, already I told you what is a class. Class is nothing but the room for our code. This is the name of the class. You can give any names. I will change it and make it adding. Okay, adding numbers. You can give the name. And a class name always begins with a capital letter. Remember this. And following letters also you have to begin with. If you have multiple words, begin with again the next word with the capital letter. This is the coding conventions which we have to follow for the names of the classes. So begin with the capital letter. Multiple words will also begin with the capital letters. And you can use underscore and all that. You cannot begin with the numbers. Don't begin any of, we are not allowed to use the numbers at the beginning of the names of classes. So adding numbers, this is how I can give. Underscores are permitted. So here we have a curly bracket of the class, and the last one is squared for the closing curly bracket. Again, public static void main is here. We have three variables here. One is x is initialized to 10, y is initialized to 25, and we are doing x plus y, and we are trying to print the sum of what is contained in z. Okay, fine. So now let's go back and change these values, and you can observe that it is basically adding. So if I show you the output, it is 35, which is the output of 10 plus 25. So cool, guys. And now let's learn about what are the features of Java. So I hope my screen is visible for showing the slides.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am? Yeah. I have a doubt. Can you go back to that program?
Yeah, sure.
No, the program. Yeah. So in our last exercise, we showed class and the name of it, right? And here there is a new keyword added, yeah, public. Is there any difference?
Yes, yes, yes. Good question. So public is nothing but it is like this class is available. This class can be used by any other class. That is the meaning of public. Okay. So for example, this I call this method as public main method. Main method is declared as main is a method. Method means it is a function. It does some work for me. What is the man doing? It is the starting point for our code. So this is declared as also public. So Public means basically this code is available for any other class to use. So for example, to give you a practical example, you have a public library, public garden, public park, right? Anyone can use that park. Anyone can use the library, borrow the books. So similarly, this class can be used by others who are able to accessibility basically. It is used by any others. So for example, if I make it private, the opposite of public, it will not be available for others to use this particular class. That is as simple as that. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. So now let's understand what are the good features in Java. So Java is simple to understand. Okay, if you write good Java code, it will be as good as you should write such a beautiful code that it should be very clearly understood by others, and it should be readable like English, like reading a book. It should be, it can be done. Okay, it is simple. That is the reason we call it as simple to understand. Now there are multiple concepts. As you go to the next two sessions, right, you will see that there is a little complexity in Java. It is not so simple, but once you get on with those concepts, it will be like very nice, beautiful code will be yours. Okay, and object oriented. So everything will be everything will be done on an object. We will be always working an object. We will be creating objects. We will be adding properties to the object, and we will be extracting those properties and working with those properties of the object. That is the reason it is object oriented. It is a robust and it is a secure language. Robust means it is very strong knowledge, there is a strong and security. It provides a good amount of security, because of which it has been used in banking applications. Okay, it is very difficult to break the code. Then architectural neutral. So the memory management is very good in Java. Then multi-threading. Threading is a difficult concept. You'll learn it in the last session of this this class. So threading is nothing but like multiple threads can be used. That is the reason we call it as multi-threading. And platform independent, the concept of bytecode, which can be written once and run anywhere. So that makes Java platform independent. So these are the language features. Then the first building blocks, okay, basic elements are nothing but the variables. So what do you mean by variables? Basically, they hold some value. Okay, so let me show you a very simple example. Okay, so for example, here I want to store 100. Okay, and the next time I want to have there'll be score. Think of a cricket match, think of a match, football match, whatever match you play. So at the first, in between the match, the score becomes 100, then it becomes 150, then it becomes 200, 170, whatever. So here what is happening? The value of the score is changing, right? Score is actually changing. So now let me associate this score is variable. Okay, what is this? Score is varying, it is changing every moment. That is the reason I call this score as a variable. So variable is nothing but it holds a value basically, and it keeps the value of it. Value will be changing for a variable. So supposing because it is holding a numbers value, we give the data type. Data type is nothing but what is its type. So int means integer. So basically 150 is an integer value in a variable called as score, and its type is int. Int stands for integer, and we have to end it with a semicolon. So this is how you write a variables in Java. Let me comment it. See, this is the how we provide single line comment. So this is a variables in Java. Clear why we need the variable? So here. Okay, so variables are containers for values and they keep changing. The values keep changing. That is the reason we call them as variables. So for example, there's an ice cream flavor which differs from person to person. You might like a chocolate, another person like vanilla, or I might like a butterscotch. So in other words, for example, I can make it as string. String is the data type which can not, it's not a data type. It's it's you can call it as a data type, which can take a variable name called as ice cream and its value currently that it's holding is chocolate and put a semicolon. So because we are using words here, for words we have to use string. String is the data type and followed by the variable name equal to in the double quotes. Always strings will be in the double quotes. And for numbers that I already told you, int score is equal to 100. This is how you have to use the variables in Java. Clear? So basically variable is a data name that is used to store the data value in a program. Okay, so the name could be Anusha, class could be 6, standard could be D, age could be 13 and marks could be some other value. So these are all the variables and these are all the values in these particular variables. Okay, we are initializing, means we are giving some value to it. That is the meaning. How do you declare the variables? Give the data type, variable name, put its value. This is how you can give the variable names. Is this clear? So now let me go back and show you the addition program. See, now it is very clear. Int is the data type, X is the variable name and value that it holds is 10. So similarly, Harun, can you explain me this line? Let me put a comment.
Yeah, so the variable is y and the value which contains is an integer. Is that all? Yeah. Therefore, we use that int integer to represent the value, like the type of that value.
And the value that it is
Yeah.
holding is 25, correct?
25.
Yes. Okay. Can you explain me this line, Narasimha?
Here in this fifth line, madam.
Line number 5.
Yeah, five variable X and variable Y are adding int and storing it in Z variable.
Correct. Okay. Z is also a variable. Okay. In variable Z. Correct. And that is also of the type int. So now both of you, let's go back and delete line number 3, 4, 5. Please delete it. And let's try to print our name. So how do you print our names? Just sit back and observe. String name equal to, and in the double quotes, put your names. And put a semicolon. And if you have to print the name in the system.out.println, give name is name. Do this and then let me know. Are you done? So this is how you can use string value. String means for words and sentences, we can always go for string values. Clear, guys?
There is an error in my code once again.
Okay, then I will give you a permission to share your code. Just a minute. Okay, fine. I will stop sharing and then you can share the screen. Yeah, okay. Can you share your screen, Harun?
Yes, ma'am, once again.
Narasimha, did you get the output?
I'm doing it, ma'am.
Harun, you can see what that's what I told you. See, for numbers we can use int, but for words we have to use string. S capital for string. See, Java is case sensitive. You have to use proper cases, capital letters. They matter a lot. Semicolon is missing at the end. See, expected semicolon it is showing. So semicolon. Yes, execute it now. Got it? Okay, great. Fine. Stop sharing. Narasimha, any questions? Did you get the output? Got the output?
No, yes, ma'am. I got
Okay.
that.
Okay. So this is how you can write the Java code for using the strings. So how do you write these variable names? See, for variable names, again, all the letters should be small letters. See, for example, if you have one word, start it with a small letter. All the letters should be small. If you have multiple letters, we have to use capital letters at the beginning of every word that is next to each other. So for example, mathematics or whatever, math is a variable name which holds the marks of the math. And if you have two words, say I have two words, I have begun the second word with the capital letters and calling it as math marks. So this is the names of the variables, how you have to follow. Class, this is called as camel case convention. That is, multiple words have to begin with the capital letters. So that is called camel casing. So class name always begin with the capital letter along with camel case. Method names, okay, remember this as method names. So slowly I will introduce you to methods. So method names should always begin with small letters, again follow the camel case. Yeah, then when we encounter the methods, I will remind you. So comments, I already told you comments. Comments means they don't affect the code. They are only for our information. So we have two types of comments here. Look at the last three bullet points. So this / is a comment saying only one line I want to comment, then use this single line comment. So it is called as a single line. Whenever you want to comment one line in the code, you can comment that line. And if you have multiple lines to be commented, you can use multi-line comment, which is nothing but users / use a star next asterisk, okay, asterisk next to it. Put down your words in multiple lines and then end it with a asterisk and then again a /. So we have basically two types of comments. One is single line comment and another one is multi-line comments. They don't affect our code. They will be sitting only for our information. And then statements. What are statements in Java? Every line of code is just called a statement. And then blocks, multiple lines of code within the curly brackets. Okay, open curly bracket and close curly bracket. Multiple lines if you have, they are called as blocks of code. Fine. So now let's understand what are data types. So in real world, when you are dealing with lot of things, you will have to work with numbers, whole numbers, decimal numbers, And then you may have to use some sentences and words. And also you will be using some bigger numbers, right? Some true, false, sometimes yes, no answers. So for all that, we have a provision in Java, and that is achieved by something called as data types. So data types mean what is the type of data that that a variable is holding. So to refer to a variable data type, we call that as a data type. So for example, int is a data type for the variable number because it is holding the value 10 number. Int means integer values. String means for words and sentences, we use string. So similarly, if you see here in the diagram, there are broadly we divided into the data types are broadly divided into two categories: primitive data type and non-primitive data type. So what is primitive data type? So primitive means basically we have go to the last line. Don't worry about the rest of the things. So last line here: byte, short, int, long, float, double, and then string, array also you can refer. So the same things I have written here. It is not clear picture. So have a look here. So we have these 8 data types: int, char, float, double, boolean, short, long, and byte. So these are the default values. If you don't give any value to the data types, these are the values which they will be initially be having. So for example, boolean will be used for true and false. So it will hold the value. Only 2 values it will take: boolean, true or false. And initially it will always have a false value. Character means it will only hold one character. Okay, A or 1 or 2, one of the numbers or one of the alphabets can be there in character, and the initial value of this is /u0000. And then byte, short, int, long, they all are for whole numbers. Byte will have initial, all these I will be having 0. Byte is for small numbers, short is also for a little bigger numbers, and then int is, see that sizes are different. That is the reason we have given so many types. Int for whole numbers, majority of the times we use int. And if you have bigger numbers up to 10 digits and all, then we can go for long. For example, mobile numbers, we can store it in long numbers, append with a L with the value. Okay, 9886845, and then append it with the L, then it will become a long. And then for decimal values, we have 2 types, which is float and double. All this will take 0.0 because they are the decimal initial values. Float and value for double, for decimal values. So here you can understand integer for numbers, float for lower decimal values, character 1 letter it will hold or a number it will hold. Boolean means only 2 values, true or false. Double means higher decimal values up to 15 to 15 digits after the decimal point. String means it will hold words and sentences. Just have a look at the examples. We will do the program on this. Go through this once again.
Ma'am. Narashim Haro, can you hear ma'am? Is she audible?
It is audible, but
Sorry?
it is audible, but madam, I think.
Yeah, I have muted. I have muted. Just I want you to understand these things before I go ahead. That is the reason.
Okay.
Okay. Understood? Clear about the data types?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So before I go to the next slide, let's do some practice exercise for the data types. So please do it along with me in the JDoodle or wherever it is comfortable. I will send the JDoodle link also. You can use the JDoodle link. Is my JDoodle link visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's print each of the data types. So first of all, int, and then we'll say some lucky number equal to 10, and then we will use a string. String subject equal to Java. You can use any values, change the values, I want everyone to use different variable names and different values. I'm doing just for your information. Float average equal to say for float, one thing observe here, or both of you. So for whenever you're having float value, no, always use a F along with the value. Okay. Then only it will be treated as a float value.
Float will contain only one value. I mean, one numeric value after the dot, right? Only one digit.
Huh.
So in case if you want more than one digit, we should use double.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. It's clear now.
Okay. And then character, char. See, characters you have to always use in single quotes. So as of now, I am only stressing upon these 6 data types because these are most important. Byte, short, long, they are very similar to int. And then we have to do a system.out.println. Keep the things in one line separated, then only your code will look good.
Ma'am, the variable character and the value should be in single quote.
Yes,
it-
no,
it
single quote, single quote. Okay, only for
should
strings.
not be in double quotes.
Sorry.
So if I put the value in double quotes, it's wrong, right?
Yes, it will be wrong.
Okay. Only for the
Only
string,
for
it's double
strings,
quotes.
you have to use double quotes.
Okay, ma'am.
Make up this code and then print all the things. So even if I put double quotes for a character, it will give me an error. So always use single quotes.
Yes, ma'am, it's done.
Okay.
Okay, I have to write the system out.
Yes, we have to write the system.out.println.